Hello, Renee Flamont here, and Minnie. Oh, she even looked over. You guys, this topic was brought to me by a viewer. Okay, I like to answer those. If somebody requests a video on something, I generally try to incorporate it. And it was an interesting question. Under video number 586, Mariella writes in the comments, "Hi Renee, make a video about making the smearing campaign backfire on the narcissist." Well, this is something I wish could happen every darn time, and it made me think about it for quite a while. Unfortunately, the narcissist very often is successful in their campaign to destroy. We all know that. We've all experienced that, right? We all have a story about that. And we've talked a lot about smearing. Please look those videos up. And the reason that they are often successful is that they present themselves in a certain light to everyone else. And they reserve the ill treatment just especially for us and us alone. So other people don't see the narcissist the same way you do. They may in fact like them, think they're charming, think they're funny. Okay, we've talked a lot about that. What could happen to make it backfire is for you to enter into, I'm just going to be real on this video, into some sneaky behavior. Now, what I'm about to suggest is illegal in some states. You can't tape people and use it as evidence without their knowledge. So this is not for a court of law. This is only for you to have. I was asked specifically how to make the smearing backfire. You could unknowingly tape them at their worst when they're in the middle of having a fit, or when they're in the middle of devaluing you, or in the middle of calling you names, or when you're in the middle of a crying, screaming fight for 3 hours where you found out they cheated on you. You could unknowingly tape that and play it for anyone who will listen. If all you're seeking is to have it backfire, that would, I think, help. The people they're smearing you to can't imagine that this person is mistreating you. They can't even fathom what you're telling them. Tape them. Again, I caution you, it is illegal in some states to tape parties when they don't know. But I would imagine if you don't use the tape, it's probably not. You know what I mean? If you're just using it to have the smearing campaign backfire, I don't think you can get in trouble. I think what they mean is it couldn't be admissible in a court of law, right? But check in your states. I don't want to get anyone in trouble. Evidence is hard to ignore like that, as we know. Recounting your story to someone is usually not enough to have people believe you. They don't see them in the same light as we do because we experienced it. Others haven't been devalued as you have, as we have. They've not been devalued. Maybe they've only been, love bombed and groomed by the narcissist to be on their side. They can't possibly fathom what you're talking about. Taping them, videoing them is one way to capture the truth of how they mistreat you. And if to cover yourselves in the middle of taping them, say right out, just so you know I'm taping this. They'll probably go, fine, go ahead. They never think they're wrong. They always think they're justified. I've never taped anyone without telling them. I've never taped anyone, but I've had it done to me by a narcissist. Tape me without telling me. Oh yeah. That's where I got this idea from. So throw it back on them. Another way to have it backfire is to try to prepare the people that you think the narcissist will approach ahead of time. By prepare, what I mean is warn them. I once outlined exactly what I knew was going to happen with a certain narcissist. And when it unfolded in the precise way that I predicted, the person marveled at how I knew. And their opinion of the narcissist did a 180 because they could not refute that evidence. How did you know that was going to happen? How did you know they say that? How did you know they behave that way? Because I've known them and I know them and they've done it to me before. Welcome to enlightenment. I'm positive I said something like that. Welcome to the enlightenment. The people that they're smearing you to don't see the narcissist. So try to figure out a way to make them see the narcissist. Try to have a conversation with your narcissist in front of the person that they're smearing you to. And let the person that they're smearing you to see it escalate and where it goes. Don't you escalate, right? Turn off your high-level buttons of reacting, how we usually do to the narcissist, vigorously and upset, so that they can point the finger and say, she's crazy. See, I told you. It involves involving the other person, the person to whom they're smearing you. You have to, I hate to say this, but like, get to them first. And that's the reason that's never brought up when we talk about smearing campaign, is they advise you even against that. Don't try to even tango. But I find that a hard thing to do. If I know a truth about someone and somebody has had the wool pulled over their eyes, I will try to tell them, even if they don't believe me. Because eventually they often do. They see the truth. The narcissist can't keep their guard up and mask on forever with anybody. Eventually somebody will challenge them and they will lose it and they will see the truth about that person. Now you might say, well, that didn't happen. My narcissist found somebody and they just still think they're all that. Well, it's going to be hard for them at that point to come over to your side. But if you talk to these people right in the beginning when you suspect it's happening, I think it would also be hard for them at that point to believe the narcissist smearing when you beat them to the punch, so to speak. The game is tedious. And I don't usually recommend going tit for tat with a narcissist. But I certainly believe in defending yourself. And how do you say, heading the narcissist off at the pass? I don't even know if that's the right, is that the sports expression? But you're getting my drift, yes? There's nothing stopping you from trying to save your reputation and defending yourself. And these are the ways I thought about having the smearing campaign backfire. It's a very tough, tenuous position. The narcissist creates all this drama and chaos around you and the person that they're trying to get from you, the flying monkey they're working on. The best I can describe it, because if somebody, of course, hasn't been through this experience, they can't understand it because they can't imagine why you stayed. They think, well, there must be something good about them that you stayed, or there must be something dysfunctional about you that you stayed. So talk to them very calmly and explain to the person that the narcissist is smearing you to. Explain to them the truth of the matter. Try. Show them this channel. Say, there's an entire disorder out there and this person has it. Let me show you. Show them all the channels. There's a world of information out there on this disorder. And people still don't know about it. They still don't know about it, that there are actually these kinds of people that try to inflict harm on other people. And when somebody is the person that the narcissist chose to smear you against, it's a very hard thing to turn around. It would take time, it would take energy. But if the person means that much to you, and you really do want to have the smearing campaign backfire on the narcissist, you need to expose them. You need to expose their real truth. You need to expose your truth. And I'm not saying you need to recount every single detail of your relationship to people. That's not what I mean. The question specifically was, how do you make the smear campaign backfire? Well, you'd have to prove that they're lying, essentially. And the only ways I can think of doing that is to let somebody walk in on you two having it out. Tell the person they're smearing you to come over at 7 o'clock when you know you guys fight every night between 6 and 8. Tell them to knock on the door. They'll catch the narcissist in a mood. They'll see a different side of them. I know it sounds like you're trying to drudge things up, and I don't recommend that. I really, really don't. I've talked about how I would handle smearing and the flying monkeys in the past, and oftentimes it involves just waiting it out. and seeing if that person comes back into your life, hat in hand, and wants to talk about it. I'm sorry about these eyes. I can see what I look like. The pollen is at a 10 or 11 in Orlando, so the allergies are killing me. But I wanted her to have an answer because I do empathize with wanting it to backfire. I 100% do. It's a fine line that you walk, though, between you looking like you're out to get them, you looking like you're antagonizing the situation, and not looking like a bitter ex. It's a fine line between that and trying to expose the truth of the narcissist. And I applaud you. I think all people should see the narcissist for what they are. Just because they're treating this group of people nice doesn't mean they're not being mean behind the scenes to you. I wish you luck, Mariella. It's a very fine line to walk. I just wanted to answer you the best way that I could think of. But be careful when doing any of this because there's a lot at stake. Chin up.